want to make a profit and going to great lengths to push low-income people out of their homes. This after a viewer contacted us looking for some help. That viewer told us that her landlord wanted to raise her rent from $595 a month to $2,200 per month.
KTVU's Melanie Woodrow is live now in Oakland with the questionable tactics behind the threats of rising rents. Melanie.
Lots of us think of San Francisco as the place for sky-high rents, but according to market research, Oakland is the big winner for rent increases. Landlords are pressuring tenants to pay up or get out. The Bay Area's real estate reputation is a little too real for Shadima McDonald.
They want a security deposit of $5,000 and freshman rent is $3,300.
McDonald lives with her parents. She takes care of both.
My mom, she's a dialysis patient now. My dad had a couple of strokes.
All three are Section 8 recipients. That means they receive rent assistance from the Oakland Housing Authority.
My parents are low income. We all are.
After their OHA voucher kicks in, the family pays $595 a month for their 3-bedroom home.
If we had the means, we totally get off it.
Now they're worried they could be homeless.
If you have nowhere to go, we're going to a hotel.
In May, McDonald's landlord sent her a 60-day notice warning he'd be increasing rent to $2,200 a month.
And I don't even think it's feasible.
Neither did the Oakland Housing Authority. OHA must approve any Section 8 rent increase. It denied landlord Jim Chan's request because it said it exceeds fair open market rents. So Chan responded by saying he no longer wanted to participate in the Section 8 housing program and that McDonald's had 90 days to sign a new lease at a higher rent or get out.
I kind of freaked out.
Tenants shouldn't feel forced to move out in this situation.
Lisa Greif is a staff attorney at Bay Area Legal Aid. She says landlords can't just opt out of the Section 8 housing program like Mr. Chan was trying to do. She says if a landlord wants out, the landlord must first end its existing lease with Section 8 tenants. If those tenants won't agree to voluntarily move, the landlord must have just cause to evict them.
It can't just be because they no longer want to accept Section 8. That is not a valid reason. Or they want more rent. That's not a valid reason under just cause either.
Rife says it's a sign of the times. As the housing market bounces back, landlords can make more money by leaving the Section 8 housing program. 2 investigators wanted to ask landlord Jim Chan about the notices he sent McDonald. He directed us to his attorney, who agreed to speak with us off camera and said his office did not draft the notices. Uncertain if she'd have to move, McDonald began the difficult task of looking for a new home.
Everywhere I'm looking, nobody wants Section 8 recipients.
It's not just Section 8 recipients. Greif says she receives calls from tenants in rent control departments who say they are also being pressured to move out.
Landlords want to get the maximum rent they can.
Especially in Oakland. According to an industry report, Oakland had the highest annual rent growth in the nation at 9.4%. It beat out San Jose and San Francisco. After 2 investigators stepped in, McDonald learned she won't have to move. Landlord Jim Chan's attorney told 2 investigators the notices his client sent out lacked just cause for eviction and that he was withdrawing them. It's good news for McDonald, who says she couldn't imagine the alternative.
It'd be devastating.
Oakland City Councilman Dan Cobb recently introduced an ordinance that would prohibit and deter landlords from harassing tenants in any way. That includes by sending illegitimate eviction notices. That ordinance will be discussed in a public hearing tomorrow at 1:30 in City Hall. Reporting live in Oakland, Melanie Woodrow, KTVU Channel 2 News.
So Melanie, let's talk about the Oakland Housing Authority for a moment. Does that housing authority ever let landlords raise rent in the Section 8 housing program?
Absolutely, Frank. The executive director tells me that he received 175 requests for rent increases in August. Of those, all of them were accepted except for 15 that were denied. The average rent increase allowed is about 6%. Again, in Shadima McDonald's case, her landlord's rent increase was denied because it was so big and exceeded market rents. Frank?
All right, Melanie Woodrow live in Oakland tonight. Thank you, Melanie. And if you have a tip for our 2 Investigates team, we'd sure like to hear from you. Just send us an email at 2investigates@ktvu.com.
One person is dead and